Oh, sorry. Sorry. Had my mic muted too, but anyway, yeah. Let's play 3 Lilies and the ghost stories. Like this game, like it has some like scary stuff I guess, but it shouldn't be like too heavy from what I understand. But there is like discussion about your death because of ghosts, I guess, and probably some other things. So like it's not for the faintest of the hearts, but hopefully not too heavy anyway. And yeah, I made these like little like that interaction thingies that might pop up here and there if I remember to press it. But anyway, let's play, I guess. China, 90s. Desire for stability, shape of loss, manifestation of returning faded glory days, and accepting it will never return. Not sure like what that is supposed to mean, but hopefully we'll learn. I wonder if the volume could be higher too. We'll see. I will tell a story about you. Miha. This story will create a legend about you and attract lost souls like you. Okay. And hopefully at least one person will be able to do what I couldn't. Now share with me what you'd like for the world to hear. Are we like interviewing somebody? There's a fishing village hidden in the middle of one of the Shengxi Islands that sits in a thick fog. Hilly to the point of being mountainous and riddled with forest, like a hunk of massive rock in the sea, it stands out as the sort of island most wouldn't expect a fishing village to be on. Also, I'll have to probably move a little bit. Like this maybe. In order to reach the village, you must take a dangerous hike and stumble upon it by chance. The present is interesting at least. The homes are riddled with vegetation and there are no signs anyone has lived there for a long time. Like the ones on the other islands surrounding it, these once prosperous villages lost most of their residents when it was no longer feasible to stay. Why was it no longer feasible? This strangely placed one was abandoned quite abruptly and completely and has remained unoccupied. It's not just like a ghost, but a ghost town, I guess. As a consequence of that, there are sometimes opportunistic thieves who come to visit. But, like, is there like anything to steal anymore? Nobody remains in this village for a reason. One such thief learned this the hard way. One day, this thief traversed to the village in the hopes of finding something valuable. They had heard that many other men had found what they were looking for. I do like the mood so far. Like, it's not like super scary, but it is like atmospheric. Instead of finding what they wanted, however, the village, normally only permeated by an eerie silence, now has filled with the heavy footsteps and wheezing of the thief running frantically. Their very feet dug into the dirt so deeply, each step carved out clods of earth. I guess I'll have to hydrate right off the bat. Still kinda hot, but not as bad as yesterday. Okay. Through the body was reaching its limit, your mind continued to panic. Panic. The thieves' faces were so ragged, their throats sounded as if it had been torn to shreds. I'm not hopefully that bad, at least. They risked slowing down to look behind them for the first time in a while. They're like dark figures. When they saw what was pursuing them again, they whipped their head back and cursed under their breath. Damn it. How are you not tired already? Or maybe the figure has had exercise. No, nothing said, I guess. The woman tailing them said something unintelligible. Despite their distance, the thief could hear it perfectly. Though they couldn't understand what it was, they pushed themselves to run faster. But I'm actually want to increase the text speed. They took a right turn this time, running up the hill for what must have been the 10th time. Damn fog, I can't see a thing. Please, let me the hell out of here this time. Their mad rush through the fog took what seemed like an eternity to them. In the thick of it, they sensed the woman's presence closing in on them. Shit. Please. At last, the fog began to thin into mist. It doesn't like this rustling or like how I turned the music down. No, the music should be fine. Or maybe it's just like ambient for now. Beyond the thief lay the forest. When they spotted the new sight, they broke into a wild grin. The lesson gave them one last burst of adrenaline, and with it they sped up and lost the malevolent presence. Unsaved. Without hesitation, they ran on. Branches and thorns scrubbed against their skin and clothing, leaving Gary's marks and tears all over them, but they didn't care. Patches of clear sky could be seen between the trees, growing in size as they came closer. I smelled ocean, it's over for like better or worse. They broke past the last barrier of vegetation. Their field of vision flooded with light. Well, that's light, I guess. Huh. I do like the animations. But so far though, like, I wanna see characters. Like, who is the thief? The ground abruptly ended at a cliff mere meters away from the end of the forest. Ocean waves crashed against the walls of the cliffside. It was a dead end. No way. They collapsed onto the ground right at the very edge. Like, so far I guess what we know is that there was some kind of scary woman in the village. And the thief has been running away, like that's what we know, I guess. The branches of the trees behind them rattled ominously, and the chilly, out-of-season wind hit them. Sweating profusely, they turned. I don't know, like, if this is supposed to be a ghost, doesn't look like it. You never know. The woman from before closed in on them slowly. Though her feet, clad in fisherman's boots, touched the ground, no footsteps could be heard. The only sound that came from her was continuous, unintelligible muttering. Why muttering? No, please. The thief's voice cracked as they raised a weak hand up to defend themselves. Look, I'm sorry, I really am. I didn't mean to take it. I thought nobody lived here. It fell out of my pocket. I felt it. So please just leave me alone. Nothing they said stopped her. The thief began to scoot backwards. As they backed up farther and farther, the cliff's edge began to groan under their weight. Well, I guess the thief is going to drop. Please, I don't want to die. The palm scraped back until it was at the very end of the cliff. Despite this, the woman did not stop. I don't want to. They suddenly felt themselves sink. A rip, I guess. Okay, the thief is the ghost, I guess. The thief screamed the whole way down until the sea swallowed their body and the crashing waves their voice. Dot. The mysterious woman glared at the space they once occupied, sighed, then turned and disappeared into the forest. Her sad, melancholic sighs sounded just like the wind. Who was she? Why did she occupy that village? What was her story? There could also be another thief, right? It wasn't said. We don't know much so far. If the sky could be described in one word that day, it would be uncertain. Making out anything was impossible. Everything was obscured with scattered haze. Even sun, bright as it was, seemed to waver in the air like a fairy light. Underneath that sky lay red waters, mostly calm, save for one disruption. A small white passenger ferry from Shanghai sailed along the misty green East China Sea, toward the Shengsi Islands. It was a simmering abnormality, parting the waves unabashedly. This would be one of its few voyages around this part of the chain today. Once this part of the Mist Sea was filled to the brim with ships delivering product from lucrative fishing villages. However, those days are now gone here. The only passengers on this lone ferry were a young couple, an elderly man, and a young woman lost in thoughts as she stared out the window. Anna. And so the ghost continued her lonely days in the abandoned village, free of any nuisances. Okay, so are we like the ghost, well, not hunter, I guess, hopefully not. Somebody who is looking for ghosts. Or so said X, who heard it from Y, who passed it on the sea, who passed it on to me. Out of all the places I was expecting to pick up an abandoned spot's location, it definitely wasn't the bar. She smiled, excitement flaring in her breast. Not that I'm complaining. Okay, so I guess the story is well, the scary woman is a ghost, and the thief was just a throwaway or something. The woman, Song Anna, was an ordinary university student with a major she didn't care much for and a penchant for visiting lullabars and abandoned places. She purchased a ferry ticket first thing in the morning today just to find this mysterious village, having heard that voyages to its island would soon be discontinued. Her outfit was her usual excursion get-up, a warm jacket, jeans that are easy to move in, and hiking shoes. It was a good thing, she thought upon waking, that she didn't drink too much last night, so she could face this day with a clear head. I guess she is interested in abandoned places at least, but maybe ghosts too. She said it was a foggy village you can't escape from, but how did woman X, who stumbled upon it, get out? And where did the thief even come into play? Yeah, how do you know about the thief if the thief died? Or maybe the thief didn't die, and that's how people know about the thief. If the thief just died, there should be no witnesses, unless somebody was looking from the buses or something. There are so many silly holes in this story, there's no way it's actually haunted. Her shoulders drooped. Though if there are actually people living there still, going to look really stupid. So much for thinking I'm in my right mind just because I didn't wake up with a hangover. Well, whatever. I got this far, at the very least. I got a nice morning hike ahead of me. The ferry ride continued. It stopped at Shengsi, where only the old man disembarked, then made its way to XX Island. Island the village was allegedly on. Why XX? Why can't they actually put the name on there? As the ferry neared the island, the mist thickened into a fog, blanketing the sea and obscuring the world. Creepy. At the reflection of Anna's fogged-up window, she could see the young couple loudly chatting, the girl obnoxiously clinging to her boyfriend. Don't worry. It should be better once we get closer to the landmass. Like how often is there like fog on the sea? How does fog work anyway? Like it should be like warm near the water, I guess, and well, I guess like really near the water, or maybe just the water needs to be warm and then the rest cold, the air cold or something. No idea like how likely that is on sea. Like on the countryside there was fog sometimes. Oh really? Really? Land breaks up sea fog, you know. The more land the fog hits, the quicker it burns off. What's up with that? That sounds like bullshit. Really, really, really. Yeah, my old man used to tell me things like that all the time. Though he also lied about a lot of random crap for fun, so this was probably one of those times. Too bad I can't ask him to confirm. He left us a few months ago. All the blood in Anna's body ran ice cold. I don't want to hear about that sort of thing. Are you crazy? Oops, sorry. The poor man was immediately silenced by his girlfriend's rapid shift in mood. He changed the topic and Anna turned out. Like if it's just like, whoa, people sometimes die of old age and stuff, like no reason to like be scared about that, I think. That. Anna continued watching them from the reflection, her head now resting against the glass in exhaustion. Her gaze began to drift somewhere beyond the reflection, past the glass and the fog. A floaty sensation built up in her fingertips, spreading to her arms, making her feel as if she was separating into two. She hadn't even realized the ferry was beginning to come to a slow until the speakers began to crackle. We are coming up to our next stop, XX Island. Passengers who are disembarking here, please prepare to leave. Staying on longer than your ticket allows is not permitted. Announcement snapped Anna out of it like a rubber band hitting a palm and stinging it. She smashed back together into a single person. They actually stop here. I guess some people still need to visit. The ferry docked. Anna stood from her seat and zipped up her jacket. As she passed by the couple, she could hear them muttering, but she didn't care. Yeah, the big question I have is like, why is the village abandoned? If it's by the sea, like sure they could do fishing or something. It's not like it is like some like Wild West village. Somewhere where people thought there would be gold but there isn't. Anna recklessly trekked deep into the forest. Yeah, I guess moving to cities would be a reason for sure. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I guess like usually there is like somebody who is stubborn enough to not leave. That could be the so-called ghost, I guess. The captain of the ferry couldn't believe she actually had to disembark at the island until she showed him her ticket. There was no civilization whatsoever at the incredibly short pier she stepped onto. Said pier immediately led to a 1 meter long dirt path in an enclave, noticeably undisturbed by human activity as well. And at the end of that meter was an unruly forest that was definitely not safe to go into. If it's always foggy too, I guess it's not the most pleasant place to live in. Like, not that the fog does anything, but it's probably nicer if you can see the scenery. Or maybe you should just build your house closer to the shore. She hopped over logs and pushed past Flora, sporadically buttering to take notes of landmarks. If it is a small island, as long as you have a compass, you should be able to get out right. So hit the shore eventually. She tried to follow what looked to be some kind of leftover path. Sometimes the forest had reclaimed so much of it, she wasn't sure if she was going to the right way anyway. This place isn't easy to find. It would be tough to reach the cliff from the story, since there's no good way to reach the island perimeter, so I guess I had to do it the messed up way. Why look for the tip? As Anna continued her hike, the ground became increasingly steep. When she looked behind her, it became evident she'd been walking uphill for some time. The fog is giving the vibe, at least there is. You don't know where you are. It's a little unsettling, because I want to see what is in the background. The top of the hill was hidden from sight by the thick vegetation. Whoa! Creepy, I didn't even notice any altitude changes. Maybe I'm getting warmer. A few meters of straight walking later, the fog that permeated the forest began to thin into a mist. Then the forest abruptly ended. The narrow hillside path had oversaw a steep drop into a bottomless fog. Anna looked along the path to find its end, but could only see the point where it took a sharp left and disappeared. Maybe this is it. He stepped out onto the path. Yeah. It was narrower than it looked. Just bringing her foot 50-some centimeters close to the edge caused the stone to dislodge itself from mud and roll down into the fog below. I can't give up here. Clinging to the wall, Anna began inching forward, dragging her feet along step by step. Suddenly, a pang of light-headedness hit her. Wah! Anna pressed her body closer to the hillside. Exhaustion blanketed her. She tried to say something in her exasperation, but discovered she was running short of breath. Nah, let me hydrate. How come altitude sickness is hitting me all at once now? Like how high is this supposed to be? Maybe if I stand here for a little bit, I'll adjust and I can keep going. With this in mind, she came to a full stop, continuing to press her body against the hillside until she no longer could. The morning chill seemed colder than it did before. Anna shivered, using one hand to pull her jacket collar closer to her face. The rocky wall was clung to become colder to the touch as well. The longer she stood there, the damper it felt. Is my mind playing tricks on me? I think I'm just sweating. No matter how long she waited, the malaise wouldn't leave her. Maybe I should go back into the forest and sit for a while. Anna began edging back to where she came from. As soon as she reached her hand out to grab a hold, whoa! The world tilted. Like how many characters are going to die until we figure something out? It was only when she was already falling that Anna realized she'd gotten too dizzy to function. Wah! Her back hit the hillside, and as it curved, she continued to tumble down. She saw the misty sky. She saw the foggy world below her, no bottom in sight. She rolled once more, and her vision was filled with the misty sky again. Wah! She shut her eyes after a few cycles of this. The endless rolling felt like it had been going on for hours. Anna, it was as if time had slowed to a crawl. Is this it? I guess I can't blame anyone other than myself. Every painful sensation assaulting her body blurred together. Oh, rip, I guess. Before she passed out from fear, Anna felt her body finally become enveloped in the thick fog at the bottom. Not sure like what is the getaway of this. I don't think we learned much so far. I feel like drinking more. Anna had a dream. The world around her was foggy and vague. Here, her vision was so blurry and her hearing was so faded she couldn't make heads nor tails of what was going on or what was being said. What she did know, however, was that two women were standing before her making friendly conversation. Let me actually see if I can play with the gamepad. I want to sit more comfortably. One of them was standing so close to Anna, the only thing you could put between the gaps separating them would be paper. Despite that, it seemed like they hadn't noticed her. Hiking, I often travel for work. Oh, me too. What is this? Anna wanted to dismiss it as a mere dream, but something was tugging at her mind that made her question that thought. Like, are we a ghost now? But shouldn't the thief be a ghost too then? just as her vision finally started to come into focus, she felt herself slipping out of the dream. The last thing she saw was the woman right in front of her looking back. Or maybe it's just a dream. But you fall so high, and if it is basically nature down there, like the chances of you surviving are really slim. Her gaze followed Anna all the way into the darkness. At the sound of someone's voice, Anna's consciousness began to break through the haze. Initially, she couldn't tell if it was the sound of the wind or a person speaking. With pain radiating throughout her whole body, Anna gradually opened her eyes. Like, what are the chances that there is like a years old like pile of hay or something, like a really huge one, and she falls there? It would have to be like really huge and no idea if it is still safe. A pair of boots were the first thing she saw. Okay, hear me. Who? Anna struggled to look up. She has eyes this time. Framed by the sunlight filtering through the towering trees was the stunningly beautiful yet worryingly pale face of a woman looking down at her. It could just be pale because the fog or something. Her skin had a desaturated quality to it, like a corpse. The two of them appeared to be the same age. The woman moved around her and bent down, bringing her face close to Anna to observe her. Are you okay? Anna was stunned in the silence. Uh-oh, she smells really good. The woman smelled vaguely floral and yet vaguely fruity as well. It reminded Anna of a body wash she might have picked up once, but there was something more faint and natural to it, as if the woman was born with that scent. I thought that was something that only happened in fiction. Did you hit your head so hard you can't speak? And you look like you have a fever. Anna moved too quickly in her flustered state, causing pain to shoot through her body whenever she put too much pressure on certain spots. You shouldn't move too much, you're injured. Here. The woman gently lifted Anna's torso up and held her in her arms. Whoa. Is this a little better than the hard ground? Yeah. Anna's face burned so much it hurt. This is going way too fast for me to process correctly. Come on, don't get all weird about it, even if she is really soft. Well, more than that though, like what happened? How are we still alive? Huh. The surrounding area finally came into focus. It was every bit a typical rural village, save for the greenery engulfing everything inside. It was almost surreal for Anna to see something so overtaken by nature. Like maybe some kind of like magical village and like there is no fall damage. And that's why we are alive. Mist added to the otherworldliness, permeating every nook and cranny like a ghastly smoke. The only things that weren't in shades of green or blue were the occasional yellow blooms of heartbreak glass. Where was this while I was up there? I can't see the sky just fine from here, so it's not like there's a little fog over the whole thing. Oh, grass. Yeah, probably heartbreak grass. I'm not sure like if there is glass on the windows anyway. Is this the village? Well, most likely this is the village. It is also like the same girl. Hey. What's your name? That was not what she wanted to ask, but it came out of her mouth anyways. Like usually I think in English you're more like hello, my name is this and this, who are you? Or something, well not who are you exactly. Heartbreak grass. The poisonous plant, interesting. Interesting, I had never heard about that. Or if it is poisonous, well it would be heartbreak for sure to eat it. Anna quickly rushed to introduce herself. Yeah, that's what you usually do. I am Sung Anna. My name is Yu Hui Fan. Or something like that. Yu Hui Fan, huh? It suits you. Alright, yeah. But not a big deal either way. Not sure like what the name is supposed to mean, but like why does it suit her? Like I'm assuming Chinese names were kinda like the Japanese names. That like well the kanji, yeah? Well they have meanings and the names are built out of them, so the names kinda have meanings. The woman smiled shyly. Do you think so? Oh cute. What am I doing? Where are we? And that's like the question I was thinking about first. A village. I know that. Anna tried to say something only for splitting headaches to overtake her. Wow. Don't strain yourself. You took a nasty fall. We should get you treated and put you to rest. Or put you to rest is like kinda ominous. This place is clearly abandoned though. How are we gonna find anywhere to rest when everything is like this? Don't worry, I know a place. Anna observed Hu Fang curiously. Yes, he doesn't look like particularly ghosty so far at least. It could just be like she is somebody who just lives here. Like the last stubborn person to stay basically. I'm not sure why. What could be a thing. The ghost woman from the story was never described right. Yeah, well, not technically speaking, I guess, but pretty sure she is the same person. But like, though, it was like never confirmed that she was a ghost either. No, I'm sure there was something about her appearance in that story or something. As fall clearly jogged up my brain cells. What am I thinking? Ghosts aren't real. She's clearly just sickly. Do you live here, Yu Fang? Do you? Sang Anna. Anna blinked. No, I came to this island to find this village. Really? Why? A sense of unease washed over Anna. It felt as if she was being picked and prodded at. Even so, the adorably, innocently curious eyes of this Yu Fang girl made her throw some caution to the wind. I like to explore abandoned places. But yeah, that's what we heard. Maybe she just likes the places but not really ghosts. Could make sense. Yu Fang responded quickly. Oh, me too. I have been exploring this village myself for a bit before you came along. Or what is like for a bit? Like is it like years or something? That's why I know a place where you can rest. I see. Anna forced a weary smile. I'll figure out what's going on later, but for now, I'll just take her offer. My headache gets worse the more I think anyways. Yu Fang started pulling Anna up with her and allowing Anna to lean on her. She was surprisingly strong for her build, able to carry Anna with ease. Anna winced with every movement. Let's go. The two slowly made their way through the village. For Anna, the journey was a blur. The next thing she recalled was being gently set down on something in a darker, warmer place. Anna shut her eyes. She was in too much pain to sleep, but the lack of light was helping her regain her wits. Gradually, her headache faded out. When Anna sluggishly opened her eyes again, Yu Fang was nowhere to be seen. It looks pretty normal though. Like surely if this had been like abandoned for like years, there would be dust and bugs at the very least. She took stock of her surroundings to reorient herself. But there's also TV, but is there electricity? She was laying on a wooden bench in a predictably abandoned home. Yeah, like people left their TVs here and stuff. Well, I guess you could do it, but it sounds more like a natural disaster or something, kind of. You're moving away. Everything was weathered and in disrepair, and the room she was in felt faintly musty. First personal effects were strewn around, left to rot by their previous owners. Anna's eyes traveled until she spotted a pair of boots. They were still faintly intact compared to everything else, so someone had been taking good care of them. But they look like the other girl's boots, I guess. Those boots look familiar. before Anna could think about it anymore, the faint scent of smoke reached her nose. Anna sat up in alarm. The moment she did, her body reminded her of the tumble she just took, and she found herself snapping back down in agony. Wah! Anna held her head as she weakly sprawled her limbs along the bench. Suddenly a familiar blob of color appeared in Anna's blurred vision. Hello. Whoa. Anna nearly fell off the bench in shock. Wolfgang giggled, then sat down on the edge of the bench beside her. Maybe I can increase the volume a little bit. Actually, maybe I can increase like the in-game volume because I don't hear much either. Something like this, I guess. Like there's no speech or stuff, so we can enjoy the music, I guess. I could save to while I did. Wolfgang giggled, then sat down on the edge of the bench beside her. It's alright, it's just me. Did you think I was a figment of your imagination? Anna shrank. A little. Anna blinked until her vision came back into focus. When she looked down at the floor, there was a chipped bowl filled with steamed congee on an overturned box nearby. No idea what that is. I'll assume that it is like, I don't know, soup or something. There's rice and running water here. But probably not soup if it is rice. Maybe it is like rice and some kind of like sauce or something. Wolfgang gestured outside. I found a perfectly intact supply of rice in what used to be someone's storage, and a water pump that still worked. I guess it is plausible, but it wasn't easy, but I managed to collect enough crop residue to start a fire in the stove here too. That bowl is the best I could find. I made sure to clean it out well. It's a little sus. But then again, like if she were a ghost, how would she be able to do these things? Oh, Okayo. But that's kinda soup. Or like, yeah. Another idea. I don't remember what it is exactly, but doesn't matter. Like okayu is something they made, I guess when somebody is sick in Japan. So it makes sense. Wolfgang beamed with pride. Wow. Anna sat up to the best of her ability. She found the bowl, then cautiously tested the bowl's temperature with her finger before picking it up. You have got some impressive survival skills, huh? I guess like it is like a little bit of like the crafting survival kind of situation. It was more luck than anything else really. without a spoon, and I decided to tip the bowl to slurp the congee. Hui Fang watched on in silence. The intensity of Hui Fang's gaze both bothered and embarrassed Anna, and so she quickly tried to start a conversation. Do you think the TV over there works? Or like, is there electricity? Well, like, why would there be electricity though? Like, if nobody lives here, nobody pays the bills, right? I'm not sure. There's no running electricity at the moment. Alright, that's too bad. If this is like in the 90s, I don't think like there's like solar panels and stuff either. Like at best they would have some kind of like generators that run on gas or something. You seem to be doing a little better. Ouch. But I guess like the TV, I didn't pay attention, but I guess the TV is like the old kind of TV, like the CRT kind of TVs. Which makes sense because it is 90s. Just as Anna was about to agree, another wave of pain overtook her. She pressed her palm against her forehead. I guess not. A low groan left her lips as she loosely held onto the bowl, threatening to spill it. Hui Fang quickly reached over to right the bowl and help keep all the congee in the ceramic. Despite touching such a hot bowl, Hui Fang seemed unfazed. As soon as I'm finished, we should get out of here. Why? Oh, if this concussion is serious enough, I need to go to a hospital. Oh yeah, I guess like when you like hit your head, like you can get like nausea and stuff like that. I guess he has at least that, but honestly, if she fell really high, like it sounds unlikely that she would survive with just like that. I see, I understand. But maybe you should rest some more before you go, just to be on the safe side. You don't want to leave. Hui Fang shook her head gently. No, not yet. Then, in that case, I think I'll wait until you're ready to leave. Apart from the falling thing and possibly like being dead, like this doesn't feel too much like a horror story. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to walk around alone like this, so I'd like to have someone nearby to help. I see. I'm sorry, I just wanted to explore a little bit longer. Despite her words, Hui Fang didn't seem very apologetic. In fact, she was beaming quite brightly, unperturbed. Anna sat down her unease and returned to her kanji. She anticipated nothing but bluntness, but to her surprise, she was met with a slight tang. When she closely observed the porridge, she spotted the occasional yellow flake dotting the white. Did you put something in here? Yes. It's saffron. You found a spice like saffron out here. Yes. How mysterious. They must have made a lot of money here to get something like this. Oh. Maybe the chat thingy doesn't work too well yet. Well, today is the first time I'm testing it anyway. Let's test it more anyway. Okay. Anna looked closer. That's weird. I mean, I had never eaten saffron before, but isn't it a little different? Haha, a little different. Ah yeah. Like it's a little more orange. The stuff in here is more on the yellow side. Ah. The sharp pain exploded in Anna's temple, radiating to the rest of her head and squeezing the bridge of her nose. Anna. Damn it, why now? I think I need to sleep. Maybe... Anna immediately abandoned the congee and set it back on the box. It is like kinda hard to guess what is going on. Like so far my theory is that she is dead. Her eyes slowly began to close as she laid down, sleep finally taking her. Anything Hu Fang said became faint and far away, except for one thing. Good night. Yeah, no idea. Once again, Anna found herself in a dream. She was still in the house this time. However, it was not her sitting on the bench. A different woman was sitting there in her place. Anna merely observed her from a spot that should have been impossible to stand in. In her hands was a bowl eerily similar to the one she was given by Hu Fang. That. The woman stared down the bowl. Inside was congee with little orange flecks, just like how Hu Fang served it to Anna. What's wrong? Can't eat? Somehow Anna hadn't noticed the presence of another woman until she spoke up. The voice she heard resembled one she had encountered only moments ago. When her eyes traveled to see who it was, however, the woman was obfuscated by shadow. Looks like the same kind of hair though. The shrouded woman continued staring at the other, anticipating her response in an eerie calm. After another moment, the woman put down the bowl. I don't mean to offend you. Don't get me wrong. There's just something about this congee that's not right to me. The shrouded figure's playful smile disappeared. And that is. The woman's gaze pierced through the shrouded ones. How is it that you have made congee from rice that's become so moldy it's pitch black? Well, that's kinda concerning, yes. I was thinking it would be in like a plastic bag or something. I think rice stays good pretty long, as long as it doesn't get wet. Huh. I've been to the storehouses. All of it is. Anna's hearing suddenly cut out at that moment. She could feel herself starting to lose her grip on the dream again. The woman shrouded in darkness stepped out from the shadows with a dangerous look. You, Huifang! Anna's shout went unheard. As everything faded away, the woman looked back at Anna again, and Huifang didn't seem to take notice. Though she could feel her gaze, Anna couldn't tell what she looked like through the blur at all. Who is this? Or maybe like there is good rice too. Like maybe she's lying and it's not actually from the story. It's just like she just has like food with her, because who would come here explore without any kind of things to eat or anything? But most likely, the main character is just dead. Time passed. When Anna opened her eyes again, she expected total darkness and the light of the moon. Question mark. Instead, bright light filtered through the front room, just like before. Huifang was nowhere to be seen. Anna scratched her head and looked at her kanji. He stared at it, still shaken up by that dream. That. It's not like I have looked in any storehouses or anything here. Is my mind just making stuff up to scare me? A sound came from somewhere right outside the home they were occupying. Curious, Anna stood up carefully and went to investigate. Moving doesn't hurt so much anymore. The moment she crossed the entrance, she looked down. Those boots from before were still there, intact, well cared for. That. Another sound outside pulled her out of her thoughts, and I returned to what she was doing. What is she bonking? When she followed the sound, she found Huifang fiddling with the generator. And that's what I expected they would have in like a remote location like this. Hey. Oh, Sungana, hello. What are you doing out here? I'm trying to get this generator to work. Since you were talking about the television and all, I'm sure that this still works. We just have to get the TV working again. With that, Huifang returned to what she was doing previously. Her hands desperately groped around to find something that would open. slamming against the metal. When her fingernails dug into a groove on the generator and tried to pry it open, Anna heard the sound from before. Have you been trying to find out how to work it this entire time? Yes. She's so cute. Anna puffed out her chest with exaggerated confidence. Here, I know how to work one of these things. Can you help me pull this away from the home? It's a little too close. Okay. Anna got one end of the generator while Huifang got on the other. On 3. 1, 2, 3. The two pushed. Anna's surprised to push got the generator farther than she expected. All of her overconfidence from earlier evaporated and became one with the mist. Huifang simply kept on smiling cheerfully. She's so strong. They continued to shove it back as far as they could until it was safe distance away. And there. Anna let out a wheeze and bent over to catch her breath. Doing this was a mistake. All her aches and pains had been renewed. Huifang, on the other hand, didn't seem fazed at all. She looked at Anna and giggled. Why did I try to look cool? Next, we need gasoline. Hopefully they aren't going to drill oil or something next. Still trying to look cool, Anna hastily caught her breath with a few gasps and started moving in the direction of what looked like a storehouse. Where are you going? Huifang's outburst startled Anna. I was going to look for gasoline. It's fine, I know where gasoline is. Just stay here and don't move, okay? You're injured. You shouldn't be moving. What about, pushing the generator then? Huifang hurried off before Anna could say anything. Anna watched her disappear behind some houses. What the hell? Anna stood there a little confused. Sweet of her to worry about me, but it's a little late to make sure I don't get even more hurt. Maybe she just feels bad for letting me push the generator. Maybe, I guess, but I don't know. As Anna waited for Huifang to return, she started to idly amble around the area. She had, after all, come to explore. Anna decided to make her way towards another cluster of houses. Kinda sounds about as much work as looking for gasoline though. The fog surrounding them was oddly thick compared to the rest of the area. Creepy. She reached out to brush away some vines hanging over a window. Hey. Anna whirled around. Huifang was briskly walking towards her, carrying a large canister like it weighed nothing. She seemed quite flustered. I thought I told you to stay put, sung Anna. And what is with the like staying put so hard? Like, is there something we aren't supposed to see here? Anna's rank grinning mischievously. Ah, sorry. You sound a little like a nagging wife when you scold me like that, you know. Was, I think, the comment pickup thingy that I coded like it's still a little bugged, but oh well, I'll figure it out later. We'll just continue without it for now, I guess. Hopefully at least, well, the normal YouTube comment thingy works. Well, you would be a horrible husband for scaring your wife like that. Oh, so you're my wife now. How did you get that out of what I said? Fang turned on her heels and ignored Anna, walking towards the generator with quick steps. Hey, that's not fair. Can't go that fast. Hey, Fangy. Who are you calling Fangy? Why don't we hurry and get this generator running? You're surprisingly cold. The two reached the generator. Alright, next what you do is fill it. Fang reached out and unscrewed the cap on top. She lifted up the canister and poured until it was filled, then screwed the cap back on and set the gas canister aside. There. I thought you didn't know what you were doing. Fang fidgeted shyly. If I ever forget a step, I forget the rest of them. When you reminded me the generator needs to be a certain distance away, I remembered everything else. Why does it need to be like moved anyway? Actually, it has nothing to do with the gas. Oh, I see. Like maybe well, you don't want it to be near the houses in case it sets on fire or something. Who knows? So you're like a sequential learner or something. Fang nodded. Growing up, it really confused adults around me when I trip up like that. I got scolded a lot. I can imagine. Say, why do you know this stuff anyway? I could ask you the same thing. You don't look like you come from somewhere where you need to worry about things like knowing how to work a generator. Again, with answering my questions with a question. I was born and raised in Shanghai, yeah, but my mom wasn't. I think growing up during the 60s made her paranoid about a bunch of things, so she ended up filling my head with anything she thought would be useful in case I ever got into some kind of trouble. Oh, I see. Now it's your turn. Where do you learn how to work a generator? Or maybe she always lived here. Fang fidgeted again. Had Anna blinked, she would have missed it. Question mark. I grew up in a rural village, so... Yeah, well, what kind of a village? Which village? Well... No, actually... Never mind, I'm being silly. Come on, let's get the TV going. Ja kinda sus. Let me hydrate, I guess. It's not a lie that she grew up in a rural village, if this one was it. After some fiddling, the two managed to get the generator to sputter to life and returned inside. Anna reached out and wiped off what little dust was on the CRT screen. The generator wasn't in great shape. There's a chance this TV will have trouble too. Well, nothing else to do but check. Without hesitation, Hufang turned on the TV. Nothing happened. A strange sound resembling a vacuum suddenly blared from the TV. Whoa. Whoa. Anna quickly shut it off, one ear covered. A strange little white dot appeared on the center of the screen before it disappeared along with the noise. Humidity destroyed this poor thing. Oh, that's too bad. I guess we are not catching reruns of the Dream of the Red Chamber, huh? Ha ha ha. Anna, amazed that she hadn't gotten a headache yet, settled down on the old bench. She motioned for Huifang to come over. Since we have got nothing to do out here, let's just talk. Huh. Come, sit down. Huifang bashfully seated herself next to Anna, who draped herself along the bench morosely. So Huifang, do you prefer Lin Dayu or Q Ba Chai? No idea who they are. Dayu or Ba Chai? That's a difficult question, but if I really could only pick one, I'll pick Ba Chai. Really Ba Chai. What about you? Is it Dayu for you? No. No? Anna grinned. I like Xifeng the best, but no idea who that is either. I guess they are talking about TV, most likely like it would fit the theme. Huifang playfully slapped Anna's arm while making a mock pout. Hey, isn't that cheating? You're supposed to pick one or the other, and you just went with the third option. Haha, I don't remember giving the question rules. You really are the type of person who would pick Bao Chai Ha. But that passionate response of yours is pretty Yuri. Is this why you couldn't decide? Huifang huffed. Never mind that, why Xifeng? She's cool. And Deng Jie is hot. Haha, is she cool even when she causes deaths? Even if it weren't for Chinese things, I wouldn't know anything about TV more or less. But now I have no idea. Yeah, my opinion hasn't changed. I guess I just like dangerous women. Huifang didn't reply. Anna felt her palms go clammy. She opened her mouth to say she meant it in an appreciative way, but before she could, Hui Fang stopped her with a hum. As for me, I think I like reckless women better. Yeah, reckless women with white grins. Huh. Anna's voice cracked. Hui Fang leaned in a bit closer. It wasn't welcome at all. It wasn't unwelcome at all, but the suddenness of it all did get Anna extremely flustered. Fangy. Hui Fang looked up at Anna through her eyelashes. Never mind. Oh shit, she's so close. What am I supposed to do when you look at me like that, huh? Now that I have got such a good look at her, she seriously beats all those girls I hooked up with at the bar by a long shot. Is something wrong, Annie? Hui Fang spoke like she was clueless as to what she was doing. Anna cracked a nervous smile. Nothing wrong at all. Hui Fang leaned in even closer. Anna's heart beat quickly, like the fluttering wings of a hummingbird. She could no longer fake a smile. What little remained of her composure was blown away. Hui Fang's beautiful face was as red as Anna's own, her breath hot. Don't you want to play house for a little bit? A cold finger reached up and traced itself along the bit of Anna's neck, making her shudder. It is like a very gay situation, but I'm kinda concerned about being alive and stuff. Hui Fang's nail lightly, pleasantly scratched her skin. I can be the wife, and you can be the husband. Anna sighed. Aye. At that moment, Anna felt a piercing pain in her head again. She was so blindsided by the pain that she wasn't able to hide it at all. Her hand flew up to press against her forehead again. You're not alright at all, are you? Shit, I hope she's not upset. It would be kinda extreme to be upset here. But yeah, I'm not sure what is going on. The village, it kinda seems that it's not just abandoned a few days ago. It feels like it is way older. It's kinda sus. Also what's up with the dreams, they are more visions or something. You're not alright at all, are you? Shit, I hope she's not upset. I don't like that this keeps happening. I need to get out of here and get checked out. Sorry, at least I stayed awake way longer this time. Here, I'll let you rest again. Hui Fang got up to allow Anna to stretch her entire body along the bench. Why don't I get you something to drink? Give me a minute. Hui Fang left the house in a rush. Anna watched her disappear, the darkness gradually taking her. Wait, not again. Her consciousness did not obey her. For once, Anna did not dream. Her rest was motionless and peaceful. Edges of her consciousness, however, told her this was not true. Something was lurking in her sleep, dancing around at its edges and trying to call out to her. It made a single plea. Please help her. How can you help a ghost though? Assuming that she is a ghost. Like not sure like how these visions would work though. If the main character wasn't dead. When Anna woke up, she felt much more refreshed compared to the other times she'd woken up. This, however, did not calm her. I wonder if I just feel like this because I'm dead now. Yep, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Hui Fang wasn't in the room again. Anna tried to get up to go looking for her. When she moved in a specific way, pain shot through her and sent her back down. It was like 1,000 hot needles pierced into a nerve running through the whole length of her body all at once. Ah, shit, I'm alive, I must be alive, right. So I don't know like how like ghosts work technically speaking, like maybe you can feel pain even as a ghost. Anna. Hui Fang popped her head in. In her hand was a little chipped teacup filled with water. What, did I not dream because I actually wasn't asleep for very long? Yeah, but what was the help her thing? That wasn't a dream, huh? Hui Fang set down the teacup in front of Anna, where the kanji once was. Anna took it almost immediately. However, before she could move it towards her lips, she recalled the dream about the kanji. She looked down at the water apprehensively. Not like it could be rainwater or something, but well, it is probably fine. When light refracted off the cup of the liquid, Anna swore she could see hints of some kind of rainbow shimmer floating on top. Well, if it is oil, then that's not the best kind of water. Shit. That doesn't look good. I just shouldn't drink this, right? Maybe the water's contaminated. So, she thought this. A piece of Anna's heart told her that's not the real reason she was concerned. Anna tried softly keep it in her lap as if she was just waiting to drink. Hui Fang wouldn't stop looking at her expectantly. You should really have something to drink. You haven't had anything ever since that fall, right? Yeah. And nothing like the chick from the dream. I can't just bring myself to do something that's rude. Xifeng really would have a field day with me if I crossed her, huh? I don't think I'll be swallowing this gold though. That. Anna brought it up to her lips. She used the cover the tilted cup provided to make it appear as if she was taking a drink, tightly pursing her lips. But little dripped out hit her lip and dropped down her chin harmlessly, and she softly wiped it off before bringing her hand back down. Anna looked at Huifang as if to ask if that was good. Huifang, seemingly none the wiser, smiled and seated herself right next to Anna. Anna took it as an opportunity to quickly set the cup back down on the overturned box and tried to start up a conversation to distract Huifang. So the water pump you found still works. Despite her paranoia, Anna still couldn't help but find Huifang adorable, with the way she scooted up next to her conspicuously. Or maybe she was just like not paying attention to the water being bad. I am stupid. Yes, why wouldn't it work? It hasn't been that long since I last used it. Oh yeah, right? Huifang snuggled up even closer. So where do you come from, Fangi? Huifang hesitated in her strange way once again. I'm from a nearby island. And then she quickly added, one with people still on it. It's still kinda sus though. And you? It was evident to Anna at this point that Huifang was trying to keep her out. Direct questions about who she was simply would not work. Fine then. I'll squeeze it out of you while you're not paying attention. I'm from Shanghai, born and raised. I still live there even now. Right now, I'm attending university. University? You still go to school. You don't have a job yet. No. Then why are you here? Shouldn't you be studying? The Huifang was scolding Anna. Her tone was light and her expression pleasant. You know, sometimes you just need a little fresh air to figure things out. Is that so? So you ferried all the way to an unfamiliar island from Shanghai for a little fresh air. Sometimes you need a little fresh air in a wildly different place. I don't believe you. How are you going to graduate with that kind of attitude, huh? Anna looked away sheepishly. Though it's not like I'm not going to graduate. Why is that? It's really not that hard. Classes and tests are more like running errands than anything else to me. Actual memorable things are all the things you do when class is over. But that's like though, kinda like university attitude. Huifang seemed more and more confused as Anna went on. Then why go at all? It's optional, isn't it? The university thing. I wouldn't really say it's all that optional in this market. Though I'm not as hardcore as the students who even join the party for more job prospects. The fact that it's a nice university gives me a huge edge over the competition. Not like over here, like it doesn't really matter like which university you go to. More or less, as long as you go. You know. Oh, I see. I didn't know things were that hard for city girls. The only thing that's actually hard is entrance exam though. No, it's fine. It's cute that she is pretty clueless. Almost like she never really has left the island she lives on. Not even to check out others. Oh, she should be on an other island now. But I guess like the perspective can be different when you're essentially on the countryside. You must really like Shanghai to spend so much of your life there. You even pick one of its universities to attend. Some people are just never satisfied with where they live. I wouldn't really say I'm satisfied. Aside from the job thing, I also can't stay there because of my mom. Your mom. An unease settled itself deep within Anna again, constricting her chest painfully. She felt something tugging at her soul, threatening to take it from her body again. Spitting out words felt like trying to throw up glue. My mom has cancer. That. The doctor told me she's very sick. I don't know how much longer she has left. Yeah, no idea like how good the treatment was in the 90s. I stay there so I'm not too far away from her, since she doesn't know it's happening. I explore abandoned places so that I don't have to think about it or even worry about any other people. I can just be alone. I can play make-believe in a remnant of humanity. Huifang's eyes inspected Anna's face curiously before she said anything more, like she was searching for the words. Or like if the main character is dead though, then rope. My mother is sick too. She's always had a big constitution. Apparently, she had me even though it wasn't a good idea. She had to take a lot of different medicines after I was born. She still took some of them throughout my childhood and had a special diet too. Yeah. Without either of them realizing it, Huifang had, at some point, rested her head on Anna's shoulder. The two sat in silence for a moment. It's scary, isn't it? You know someday that something important will be taken away from you, but you push it to the back of your mind so you don't have to think about it. That. I wonder if the people in this village ever thought there would be a day they'd have to leave. I don't think they did. Well, that's kind of ominous. At least I never did. At my own village, I mean. Sure, your own village. Not this one at all. So yours is losing its population too, huh? Huifang nodded. Her eyes were a bit misty as she stared at some far-off place Anna didn't know. I guess it would be a motive to come here to see what happens when everyone moves out. But if this is the second time this year, it's a little odd. With the thief thing and everything happening before. There was talk about market demand being so high and the lack of access to things like good education. The world was changing so fast around us that we didn't have time to really say goodbye. It doesn't help that our village is a little hard to reach. It's in an inconvenient place. Yeah, not unlike this one at all. It's frustrating. Hui Fang clutched the fabric of her jeans tightly. That. Anna wished to ask an important question, one that could have turned the tranquility of the scene on its head. But as she sat there with Hui Fang's relaxing presence near her, exhaustion slowly began to set in, and she couldn't find energy to ask it. Her eyelids became heavier and heavier. This time her exhaustion hadn't come with any pain. Instead, it was the kind she'd expect to experience after having a long, tiring day. Hui Fang left Anna's side to allow her to rest and gently pulled the blanket over her. Good night. Please, let's make this the last time. Who are you, Hui Fang? Anna entered familiar dark slumber. Let's make what the last time? In the village, she walked. Her heavy feet trotted through the vegetation and dirt paths. There was nothing scary, confusing, or different about this place. Anna, as she was now, it felt so familiar, safe. She saw a person, then another, and another. One by one, the once empty village was populated again. Before her appeared a couple that resembled her quite a lot. Wait, that wasn't right. This couple did not look like her at all. They looked like someone else. Anna's brain, however, registered that someone else as herself. This is not my world. This isn't my body. Anna looked down at her hands and saw skin that was more healthy and alive, dressed in white sleeves. Her boots were blue and made of rubber, just like the boots worn by the man. An identical pair. This is Fang Fang, Mr. Yu, Mrs. Yu, Fang Fang. Against her will, Anna smiled and spoke. Mama, Papa. Anna understood. Instead of continuing to think about it, she simply let go and followed the flow, observing the events that passed by. But I don't really understand. Like she was supposed to be born in Shanghai, right? Standing before Hui Fang's parents caused memory to flash through her mind. sat on a cliff in her father's lap, holding a fishing rod with both hands as he supported her. Like, the question is like, how can the main character see the other characters like memories? Her hands were so much smaller than they were before. So was her voice. Papa, why do you take me here? No, for one, I'd like you to grasp the basics of fishing and preparing fish. It's a good skill. So long as you have got a rod and you're near a place with fish, you'll never go hungry. And this is the place I always fish at when I need peace and quiet. I want this to be a special place for you too, Fang Fang. Anywhere special if it's with Mama and Papa. Hui Fang's father smiled broadly. What's with the creepy smiles? So that's where you two were. Don't bring her so close to the cliff. What if she were to fall? Just teach her by the pond. Oops, looks like we are in trouble. Hehehe. The world shifted again. Still she sat. Now it was at the table. Dinner was laid out, but she found it difficult to eat a single bite. He left. Yes, and so did old. By the end of this month, there won't be enough of us to even dream of keeping up with the competition. Are we leaving? Difficult expressions flashed on the faces of Hui Fang's parents. They spoke about this around Hui Fang because she was an adult, but they seemed to be regretting that this is now. Yeah, hello chat. So it seems that they are indeed leaving because well, people want to live in the city instead. Or at least like all the others than this family. But how can we see these visions? Yeah, we are going to have to join everyone else sooner or later. Yeah, you'll get to see what the city is like. And I'll work hard so you can enjoy it to the fullest. At that moment, Hui Fang's mother suddenly broke into a coughing fit. Hui Fang's father cried out her name and rushed to her aid. That. The hand that held Hui Fang's chopsticks quivered as she forced herself to keep it together. The days passed slowly as the countdown ticked on. Like, so far it seems that the person like most likely to be dead is, well, her mother, but like there's like a possibility too that she's not who she thinks she is and she's actually the mother or something. People she knew and loved and grew up with would either say their goodbyes or suddenly leave the next day. She'd overhear her parents speaking in hushed tones about finances, and some days there would only be 1 or 2 dishes at the table. When her mother started talking about working at the factory, despite her father's protests, regarding her weak constitution, Hui Fang finally broke. The day before the move, she visited that same cliff she always knew and loved. Kinda feels like content warnings territory. Unlike everything else, it seemed so unchanged and eternal. It was beautiful. As Huifang came closer to the edge, Anna instinctively understood what she was about to do, but she couldn't stop it. Yeah, content warning, I guess. Wait. Stepped out into the emptiness. Well, the main character also fell. I guess that's why, like in the thief scene, like the girl was sighing. The last sensation she experienced was the chill of the ocean, and then suddenly the world came into focus again. A world without her. A village without her. She took her pain, morphed it to her liking, and sat alone in silence. And then, one day, wouldn't the thief be a ghost then too? Anna woke up abruptly. Huifang was nowhere to be seen. Unlike before, Huifang's disappearance felt unnatural, but Anna couldn't pinpoint why. Sweat covered her entire body. Despite the cold, she unzipped her jacket a little for some relief. I guess like everybody here is dead. But yeah, it was still daytime. Anna got up and poked her head out the window, looking upwards. The sky was the same as it ever was. No way. There's no way it's still daytime. Anna now understood more than ever that all the dreams she had been having were real things that happened. She wasn't sure how she'd been experiencing memories that weren't her own, but she supposed it had something to do with the strange nature of the place. You're falling down the cliff. Her brain finally kicked into gear again after its long daydream. She waited for a moment. Huifang did not come. She couldn't even be heard. Like maybe everything she has experienced has been. But I don't know if it adds up. With Huifang, like well, if she jumped, like she shouldn't have been here when there was nothing anymore, like when the place was abandoned. Something told Anna that she couldn't come right now even if she wanted to. Now's a good time to get out of here. Despite the protests from her body, she left the house. The village felt incredibly oppressive. Everything just appeared to be the same no matter where she turned. The hills surrounding it seemed to conceal any distant landmarks, giving the impression of castle walls. This doesn't make sense. If this used to be a fisherman's village, then there should be an accessible place that lets them net a lot of fish. Something like a river or a path to the ocean or a pond. That's right, well they did mention the pond. In those strange dreams, Huifang's mom mentioned a pond. Anna started to head up the hill. No matter how much she climbed, she couldn't see the end of anything. The houses seem to just go on forever. Wow. She continued up a few more times, but eventually gave up and headed back down so as to not waste any more of her energy. Oh, it is like a forest of illusion or something, I guess. It just keeps repeating, unless you take the right way out or something. Now back at the drawing board, Anna found herself in the center of the cone. She began to pace. This place is undoubtedly supernatural in nature, but I don't think I'm in the afterlife. But like if you fell really high, it's possible that you are. If I were, why would she try to poison me twice? I don't think she tried to poison you. Probably. It was just like living her life. Suddenly, Anna stopped. She's been trying to control a lot of things about this situation. She seemed scared when I suddenly wandered off and stopped me from going out on my own. She must know that if I'm left alone without supervision, I'll figure something out. Or maybe she's afraid that you'll also make the jump. With that in mind, Anna shuddered. How can someone so hot be so scary at the same time? And so, like, dead. Like, there's no doubt that she's dead, right? Like, the visions were from her point of view, right? I guess that just makes her sexier. Anna started to wander around the village looking for anything that could help her. They started searching for things that seemed out of place or hints that something was not as it seemed. After a minute of looking, something caught her eye. It was the structure she thought was a storehouse. There was a large X etched on the stone exterior, right by an entryway with a rotting plank of wood on hinges for a door. After an image of a certain woman appeared briefly in the mist. Curiously, Anna approached the home and pulled open the rotten door. It screeched on its hinges. Anna flinched. Come on, shut up. When she finally opened it all the way, the minimal light cast into the interior instantly revealed something interesting. There was a pile of dry, rotting leafy vegetables covering something up. Yuck. Anna pushed it all aside with her shoe. Their notes and an especially rough map were etched into the floor. Cliff and pond, well, the pond is the other way, I guess. Then. Whoever was responsible for this obviously had lots of time on their hands. Did that woman write this? Or did we find? There's a lot of unfinished characters. She did mention something about education here, and I can see her giving up on a character when she forgets her step. Was she trying to understand her own situation? Her fingertips run along the words. Fog hides the gaps, and the cone isn't real. Cone with K. I don't understand. To cliff map, to pond map. Or else there is more. And very cryptic. As far as Anna was concerned, the map was completely illegible. Despite that, Anna understood the gist quite well. The fog hides the gaps. In retrospect, there were places in the village that had heavier fog than the rest of it. Back when Hufang stopped Anna, she was heading right towards an area where it was denser. So like it is like a half-baked like world, and the fog is there to like, so make sure you don't see into the void or something. Anna looked back out at the wider village. Sure enough, it was almost like one half of the cone was more concealed than the other. He walked towards that dense fog with purpose. It became incredibly thick, incredibly fast. It was nearly impossible to make heads or tails of where she was going. Suddenly, her foot sunk in the water, so did the other. Aha! Anna picked up the pace, dashing through and surely kicking up plenty of water in the process. The fog cleared up before Anna was in a familiar forest, her legs ankle deep in the small river that led to a pond. Visible between slivers in the trees was none other than the pier the ferry docks at. Relief swelled in Anna's belly as she started to move forward. Then a strange feeling tugged at her. She turned around to look back at the fog. The faint image of a familiar woman once again appeared, flickering in and out of existence. That. Wah. She did not respond. She didn't even turn back around to look at Anna. She continued facing the way back to the village without moving. What are you trying to say to me? Hey. The relief Anna felt started to scrunch up into a ball, getting smaller and smaller until it became nothingness. Or maybe she's just saying that, hey, you didn't complete the quest, so to say. That. She thought about what would happen after this. Anna would go home, she would face the world uncomfortably all alone. Only her childish explorations, university acquaintances, and the arms of random women from bars would be her comforts from the reality that was her dying mother. She would have to live with the knowledge that she left some poor ghost girl all alone on an island. Yeah, but what can you do? Realistically speaking, like exercise her or something. Ah, damn it. Find like salt and throw it on her. I'm a sucker for doe eyes, I guess. So are you. Without refuting Anna, or even turning to face her, the woman walked back into the fog. Yeah, the mystery definitely isn't solved, so it would be kinda underwhelming to leave it here. I guess like it would be like one way to handle it, but I don't know. There would have to be like a little bit more, I think. Why we know like why the ghost is there though, so that's something. It's something, but I'm also kinda displeased that the main character seems to be alive. Like it's not like explained why. She immediately made her way back to the map, ignoring her waterlogged shoes. Now that she'd actually found her way to the pond, Wolfang's map became easier to understand. But the cliff is for the other interesting spot, I guess, because well, things happened there. What was labeled as the pond map was straightforward. Simply continue forward and down in a straight line towards a large patch of fog, and you'd find it eventually. But the cliff map was much more squiggly, with an arrow pointing up. Just how to follow fog as it comes while going up, I guess. Anna looked at the woman. I'm right, aren't I? That. The woman said nothing. Once again, she walked forward as soon as Anna finished speaking. She headed up the hill. Anna followed immediately after. Like maybe like this ghost is the thief, right? Like it would make sense if like everybody who does the jump becomes a ghost. There could also be like the Wolfgang mother. As soon as a patch of fog appeared, the two delved into it. Every time they passed through one, the fog surrounding their path would become denser and denser. Soon, Anna's vision was completely white. She had to pray she wouldn't trip and fall again. There was no way she'd survive the same accident twice. As she walked, the scene changed. Wolfgang stood at the edge of the cliff, tears streaming down her face. The mysterious woman before her. Though the woman continued to walk forward, Wolfgang didn't come any closer. It was as if she was walking in place. What's this? You liar, you liar, you liar, you awful woman. I'm sorry. It could also be that well, it is like a breakup scene or something. Or like well, very like extreme of a breakup. But I won't let you suffer alone. How? You're about to make it so right now. I will tell a story about you. Maybe there's the thief or somebody else who came here first to tell the story. This story will create a legend about you and attract lost souls like you. And hopefully at least one person will be able to do what I couldn't. Now, shout me what you'd like for the world to hear. You idiot. I'll tell you what I want the world to hear. All about how a thief made off with my heart. How I wish I could have punished her. The scene disappeared like smoke. They walked through the forest now. The sound of the ocean could be heard in the distance. The woman continued walking forward, resolutely without stopping. Anna didn't hesitate, rather she broke into a run. She leapt over vegetation and tree roots and skipped through small rivers, crawled over little hills and hoisted herself up when needed. It hurts like hell. My whole body is on fire. I obviously haven't recovered. But it's probably nothing compared to what she's been through. The woman led her, even now walking forward, remaining a steady presence. The light at the end could be seen. Anna reached for it without hesitation and soared out of the forest. So in other words, woman X, thank you. I don't know, like if you can read into it that much, but in the beginning they were like person X told something to person Y, who told it to person G, who told it to the main character. So like would woman X be then like the first person who like started this like story about the ghost? But then wouldn't she have to be alive? So like not necessarily, I guess. At the edge of the cliff was Yuri. She floated off the ground, waves of fog ebbed and flowed around her. All pretenses of her being human were finally dropped. But we kinda knew that a while ago already. It was up for grabs right at the bat. Well, so was the main character being dead too though. Sure enough, when Anna looked closely, she could see the same kind of fisherman's boots he saw in the abandoned home on Hufang's feet. Her father must have left his own pair behind. He would have had no use for them anymore. Hufang swayed her head back and forth as if listening to a song as she stared out at the ocean. Anna took a cautious step forward. The air suddenly changed a little. Little scraps of paper fluttered down from a tree and danced around in Anna's vision. What that? That woman was crafty. She fooled me until it was too late to get rid of everything she put on the island. Fang spoke without looking at Anna. It seems the intense bloodlust I emitted as I was going to split open your head with a hoe tripped some kind of spell. When it comes to deception, she outclasses me by a long shot. What with her walking around and pretending to be an ordinary person from this era. That. Like she tried to kill the main character, but couldn't because the woman X had done something, some kind of spell thingies or something. Second, Anna quietly whispered a joke to herself to try and relax. What does that make me then? Ding Kaisen. No idea who that is either. Hui Fang continued to speak. This village has always had an abundance of heartbreak, or crass, I guess. My father always told me that these flowers are poisonous, and that I shouldn't even touch them. He never specified which part of the flower is the deadliest, though. I should have realized it wasn't the petals when nothing happened. Hui Fang. Okay, so I guess she was trying to poison her. Hui Fang stared at Anna, nothing reflected in her eyes. Do you think we could pretend the seasonings in the congee and garlic chives this time? Why? Do you know how long this village has been abandoned? Probably at least a couple of years. 3 years. They all left right around the time other people started abandoning these islands. My family's gone. My neighbors are gone. All that's left is me. Well, depends on how you define left. The sunlight refracting off the fog gave the illusion of shimmering Hui Fang, like she'd topple over the fall into the ocean at any moment. She was far too familiar with the edge of the cliff, and took another cautious step forward. When I heard we were going to move, I was devastated. So many things were already changing too quickly for me to comprehend. At one point, I tried to convince them to stay, but I knew it was hopeless. So I made this my permanent residence the only way I knew how. I don't know, sounds really extreme and not worth it. That. But everyone still left. Well, yeah. Probably makes it even harder to stay. So, didn't most of your love of this place lie in the people, your parents? If you had just gone with them, you would have been making memories forever, even if it was a different place. Yeah, you could come back later or something. Anna immediately realized she was being foolish and insensitive and shut her mouth. What reason would the residents of a small village have to stick together once they had all gone to the mainland? Their talents would be redistributed across a wider area. People get sick, people die. To accept moving elsewhere would mean to see the future that comes with it. But it doesn't need to be a bad future, right? Yeah. Hui Fang had already mentioned her mother was of weak constitution, just like Anna's own. It's peaceful and quiet here. Nothing changes here. There's nothing to worry about. You'll never have to think about bad things again. Don't you want that kind of life, Annie? Fang smiled serenely. The fragrance enveloped the cliff in an intoxicating way. A little part of Anna wanted so desperately to run over to Huifang and embrace her, tilt forward, and fall into those waves, never to be heard from again. I'm not worried, to be honest though. But slowly Anna shook her head. Huifang's face fell. Why? Why? I still want to live. There are lots of things I want to do, so why would I let myself die here? I'm afraid. I'm scared of the day my mom won't respond when I call out to her anymore. But that's the day I'll have to accept will come. Huifang collapsed onto the ground and sobbed. Her tears soaked into the dirt as she took fistfuls of grass in her hands. If you had just died from that fall, this would have been so much easier. I don't know, how helpful it would have been though. You're going to leave me too, aren't you? Or what are the choices? How does this ghosting work? Can ghosts just go elsewhere? What are the rules? Just like my family and that woman. She said that she couldn't stay, but maybe if she lured people here with the story, there'd surely be someone as bad as me. Okay, so she was indeed the person X, I guess, who started this thing, this rumor. I thought it would be you, but it wasn't. She tore out the clumps she gripped, smearing them along the ground. No mud stuck to her hands, no stains formed on her clothes. All the while, Huifang wailed. She wailed and wailed as if she was the only one there, pushing out 3 years' worth of tears and grief. That. Anna walked over. She continued until she was right in front of Huifang, then bent down and called out to get the other woman's attention. You, Huifang. How? Anna held out her hand. I wonder if I can do that too. Yeah, I can. Kinda. Live with me. Huifang's jaw dropped in shock. Live with you? How? I had never tried to leave. I don't know if I can. You won't know if you don't try, right? I'm sure that lady set something up so that you could. So come on, live with me. Is it really like live or like unlive? The ghosts are undead, right? Let's go. Cautiously, Huifang took Anna's hand. It was warm and it felt like sunlight. Thank you. The fog dissipated. Anna and Hufang left the cliff behind and set off into a changing world. Can you just take the ghost with you then? It will be convenient. Like my headcanon is with like this kind of ghosts that are haunting like one place is that you can pick up like a furniture or something and take the ghost that way. Okay, I guess we are done with that story then, somehow. It's kinda like a sudden ending. I guess we'll just save it here. So like what is the takeaway here? Well, don't jump off the cliff, I guess. Oh, that's like test TV screen by the game itself. Good to know our colors are doing well at least, despite the occasional darkness. I guess we'll call it a day here. Maybe I can try to like theory craft a little bit, but I don't know how much I can theory craft out of that. Like there is a possibility that the ghost will just be a gun or two, right? It is a possibility, yeah. That this is like, yeah, you can move on and then she'll vanish. That's probably like a valid interpretation, I guess. But like, if you take like the more like cartoony take on ghosts, like maybe you can take the ghost with you, like why not? Like nothing says that you couldn't. Or you can do the my headcanon and like we'll take like a bowl or something as he can like follow that. Something like that. But I guess like this kind of like vague endings, like the point is that it is like up to you to decide. And like maybe like both ways are valid ways to interpret it. Or like maybe the developer made some kind of like exclusive content that I'm not aware of that is like more canon. Who knows? Who knows? But it was an interesting story, I guess. It was like kinda things that aren't like explained, but you can like put the pieces kinda together still. Okay, if she is able to take the ghost with her, then yeah, I'm fine with that too. The ghost is low-key yandere. Well, I guess it makes sense. It makes sense. Like she was a little bit of like that, like she was saying that she wanted to murder the main character, so I guess that's kinda yandere vibes. It's not like overly dark, but yeah, there is the jumping off the cliff thing that is. It is content that can force you to trigger people. So I can see that. But it's not like... I guess it's more like on the... like a little bit of a psychological horror side, but... I don't know. It feels more like a mystery than horror, really. Or maybe a little bit of both. Not like particularly spooky, but there are like a little bit of like unsettling of whatever the word is, like that kind of things. Not like a comfy story, but like there are kind of like occasional situations But if it were like a horror, it would be like there are these like nice situations and then like bang, something like really scary right after that. Like that is the trope, I guess, with the like cookie cutter scary jump scares. But it was interesting. It was interesting, and I think I kinda get the story. One thing that bugs me is that the main character is alive. Like it would have been nice to somehow explain that. Like she fell like through trees into the pond or something like that. And then the ghost like pulled her out of the pond, something like that. But even then, like, it felt like she was pretty high up when she fell, and she took tumbles and stuff. But it's kind of hard to tell. Hard to tell like how like extreme it is supposed to be. Like maybe it was like more like a hill than a cliff there. Yeah, I guess it feels like she was like kinda struggling to stay alive. Like that's why the like falling asleep and then waking up and falling asleep. I don't know. Like maybe like you can like explain it with like, well, like the ghost is half alive or like kinda living there. Not sure. Like maybe you don't die like so easily in the village, basically. Yeah, like maybe like the dreams were like when she was like almost dying, like she could then like communicate with the ghosts. Although like the, well, I guess it makes sense. Like the vision was from the Hui Fang's perspective, as she was a ghost. I guess it would make sense. Like when she was like struggling and unconscious, she could like see what she did see. Which includes like, well, I guess the woman X like be visiting the place. Yeah, it could be like the woman next to you, I guess. Who knows? Who knows? Or maybe it's some kind of like combination. It's kind of like not super well explained, but maybe it doesn't need to be like. It's kind of like the mystery. Mystery isn't like so mysterious anymore if you explain everything. And like it's not like it needs to be like all explained. Like we get the idea anyway. Like from whose point of view the visions are and stuff. Yeah, it was interesting. Like I was a little worried when I like test played this, because though I'm kinda like the person who thinks that stories need to start with something exciting, and this, it's not like it is like a super boring story like start for the story. It's not like it's black screen with white text, but it's not like here. Yeah, we are right into the action and we see like all the characters, of well, interesting characters right off the bat. Like it takes a while to see like who the characters are. If the woman X was like ghost whisperer or something, well, I guess there were like implications that she was capable in some fashion. Yeah, like she definitely like did something, but it would be kind of like possible to also interpret it so that she well, I guess they did say that she did something to stop her from murdering the main character later. So I guess she did have some kind of powers. Like she set up something there and then tried to get people to, well, explore, I guess. Probably would make sense. But if it weren't for that part where like she wanted to murder her, you could interpret it so that, oh, she was only there but couldn't like fix the situation. So she like just was spreading the story, but I guess like that's not like the canon interpretation. Oh well. Oh, it was a nice story. It was better than I expected based on my like really brief look. And there are 2 more parts that we'll get to playing. Not today, but yeah, next week is kinda like, I'm not sure about the schedule. I might be able to play on Saturday, but I kinda want to find like more time. Because I want to make a video about the Queer Games bundle, and I want to play games for it in time. So I'll try to find like 1 extra day at least. Now, like Saturday, well, it might be fine. But I'm not totally sure. I have things to do on Saturday too that might interfere a little bit. Sunday should be fine, and I'll try to find like other days. Hopefully Saturday too. Not sure. But yeah. I think we'll finish this and then... yeah, not sure if we have time for more games than that. But would be still like probably enough to make a video about the bundle. There are like other games that I have played earlier. Just need to revisit them myself a little bit. It should be fine. So yeah. Yeah, that was the first part of 3 Lilies and their ghost stories, and we'll play more next week, I guess. I'll try to find the time. Yeah, thank you for watching and see you hopefully next week. If you had time, I'll try to have time. Thank you. Bye bye. See you.